Hello, my name is Alvin, and today I'll be showing you my recipe for the lasagna party ring. I was obsessed with like shapes of any kind, whether it was a circle, whether it was a pan, and I love the idea of being able to use a bundt ring without having to make an actual bundt cake. So I was like, oh, like what kind of crazy party food can make itself into a ring? I was like, what if you put a lasagna into a bundt ring pan? That's kind of how the idea came about. I wanted to make lasagna into something that was handheld. When it comes to your meat sauce, because this is going to be a handheld version, we don't want it to be too watery. So reduce your sauce more than normal so you make sure you don't have like a soupy kind of sauce. You almost want like a paste-like consistency because when it bakes in the oven, you don't want the water to go everywhere. So if you're not sure, just keep reducing it. Sometimes what I would do is I would drain off a lot of the excess oil by putting everything onto a paper towel and just letting that drain a lot, and then I would use the rest of it inside. So make sure your fillings are nice and thick, not too thin, because if they're too thin, they're just gonna go everywhere. The gist of this recipe is that you need to basically make a protective shield of cooked lasagna noodles to make sure that none of the filling gets out. That's the most important part. You wanna make sure that your lasagna noodles are cooked, but not too cooked, because if they're mushy, they can break and they won't hold up. So you want them to be almost al dente, even a little under if that's okay. When you are laying them down and fanning them out into a long shape, you want to make sure that there are no gaps. If you have any sort of gap, the filling, the ricotta, the meat, it might leak out, and we don't want that. So if you're not sure, just keep overlaying them. Make a really nice fan pattern. I think it looks really cool too. Make sure your overlapping noodles are nice and tight. Don't let any leakage come through. Another thing that I love is clean layers. So when assembling the lasagna ring, try to make sure your meat layer is super smooth, you're leveling your lasagna slices, and you're also making the cheese filling also very smooth, because when you want to cut it at the end, you don't want to just kind of explode everywhere. You want to cut through, you want to see these great alternating layers between meat sauce, ricotta, and meat sauce. I think it looks really pretty. It was funny because I was making this by myself really late at night, and I was like, is this gonna work? It was just me in the studio, nobody else, and I'd never made it before. By the time I was done, it was like 10 o'clock, and the only people around were the cleaning staff. So I wasn't sure how cool it was. So I went up to them and I was like, hey, like, do you think this is really good? One of the guys took a bite. He was like, this is awesome. This is super, super cool. And I was like, all right, great. If they like it, I think we got a hit. One other thing that is really important is that when it is finished baking, please let it cool. I cannot stress this enough, because, you know, if you imagine lasagna, right as it comes out of the oven, it's really bubbly, there's a lot of stuff going on. You want that to all settle and absorb back in. So make sure you let it cool, probably at least an hour. When you touch the side of the bundt pan, you want it to be slightly warm so you can eat it, but not cold, not too hot. And trust me on this one, you'll enjoy it a lot later. You gotta put that little bowl of marinara in the center, because that's kind of what seals it together. And once you kind of cut into it, anybody can grab it, take a dip, and that's pretty much it. You can use whatever meat sauce you want. If you have your own lasagna recipe, do whatever ricotta filling you want, do whatever meat sauce recipe you have, just make sure they're not too watery. Other than that, it's all up to you. If you guys try it, I wanna see it, post in the comments, send me a picture, let me see how your lasagna ring turned out, because I think it's a really cool thing when other people make my recipes. So I always love it when I get to see what you make. So yeah, let me know, send me a picture, we'll see how it goes. Okay, that's it. That's it for lasagna.